Warning, this is an adult-oriented podcast about really perverse things like communication and consent. If you are under 18 and looking for answers to questions about sex or kink, please visit scarletteen.com. For the Dude Bro listeners, this is the nerdy shit. Fuck off!
Anyhow, so I guess we're doing the thing. So,
She's calling me sport.
I have to see this happen in person.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is on Discord. So I mean, you can observe it right now. I'm sure eventually she'll do it in person, and yeah, I don't think she understands exactly what she's doing right now.
I would love to see the consequences of her actions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, we fucked up. we fucked up.
She has no idea. Okay, so what was it? Last episode we were talking about honorifics.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't even think about it because like she and I, we do have a dynamic, but I didn't really think about our titles for each other. You know, she calls me Minixa, and I call her Minveld. It's Swedish. It's our pet names for each other because we didn't want to call each other my darling, my dear, you know, master, whatever the fuck.
Like Swedish meatball?
My bum is on the Swedish.
Nope, you lost me.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, actually Swedish. So yeah, I suppose Swedish meatballs. I don't know if they're actually from Sweden or not, but you know.
I mean, what do the terms mean?
So Minixa is my axe, and Minveld is my shield.
Oh,
That's cute.
Right?
Cute.
that's cute.
Yeah. And
I love that.
I do too. And most people aren't going to know what we're saying, you know? And that's how we wanted it. Because we wanted it to be something special between us. And now I'm advertising it on our podcast, which fuck. Now everybody's going to know it.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
so-
only that, but okay, listen, listeners, if anybody out there thinks this is super cute and wants to get involved in something like this, I need somebody. I don't care which one of us chooses the glove and which one's the sword, but we'll find terms to fit those two.
There you go.
Doesn't have to be Swedish. It can be whatever.
No. You need to do it like I don't know, Norse Viking or something.
Or Ukraine.
Or German.
We go Russian.
Yeah.
No, German, you're either angry or like just super, super happy.
Yeah. Exactly. So it works both ways.
That's true. That could be it.
It's gotta
Das
be
ist
German.
gut, ja. Mein Schwitzengruben.
Well, speaking of corrections, since Greedy went over his, I have a correction as well.
Should I start recording?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I hate you. Oh my god, I hate you so much right now.
Greedy just leaned over to check and make sure that we were recording.
Well, so I had a listener who's also a dear friend of mine reach out to me and let me know that I used some incorrect language when I was talking about bootblacks.
Do tell.
So what it was is that it was very, and you know, she told me, she's like very specifically the language that I had used, definitely like works in like the Nilla world. Right.
Okay.
But because one of the words I was using actually means a whole different thing in queer leather culture, it was important that I make the distinction. Right. So, and I went back and I listened to that portion of the podcast and I hear what she said that I was saying. So, what I was doing is I was using two different terms, right? I was saying AFAB and I was saying female identified, right? So those are two, you know, obviously those are two perfectly normal things. But sometimes I would shorthand the term female identified to femme identified. And that is not correct.
Okay.
Because femmes is a role in itself in leather culture. So somebody who may be getting into leather may end up misusing that as well, misusing someone's role.
Okay.
So she was really helpful. She broke it down for me, and she also sent me some really nice education about it. So I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. So I just kind of wanted to go over it really quick, what the differences are.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
So the term AFAB is just shorthand for assigned female at birth. That means that when you were born, a doctor looked at you and said, you are a female, right? That's, that's what the doctor said. If you are female identified, it's just like it sounds. You identify as a female. Doesn't matter what your parts are or anything else like that. That is your gender identity. Now, femme, like you can use it as like a shorthand for anyone who presents stereotypically female,
Okay.
right? So, like, for example, I know that I have described myself as being femme before, even though gender-wise, I'm not a female.
Okay.
I'm gender queer, right? But I say I'm femme because I dress very feminine, right? And so that's when she had corrected me initially, I thought, oh, okay, so that's where I made the mistake, right? But she's like, no, it's a little bit deeper than that. And she's saying that's why I made the point to correct you, is because the term femme is often used as a identifier among feminine leather folks, and it represents a deeper struggle for acceptance in the queer leather community.
Huh.
So, in like a way, it almost is. It sounds weird to say like a political stance because that's not really it, but it's an identifier as I'm here and I'm going to take up space whether or not you want me here, because a lot of femmes still, even in queer leather, or I should say in gay leather, like areas, are not as accepted and are not seen as valid, and their kink and their presence there are not seen as valid.
Didn't a lot of... I'm sorry, I'm completely ignorant about the whole leather culture, but didn't a lot of it start with, like, gays?
Yes, but that's the thing, is that, still in gay leather culture, a lot of gay men do not accept the presence of women of any kind. So it's like I was telling you last week, where there are still, men in the leather community that don't want a woman to touch their boots. Right? And so still a lot of, gay men could be misogynists too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is still a thing. So in spaces that are dominated by gay leather men, sometimes femme people still have a hard time taking up that space, right?
Oh, wow.
I don't know why I find it such a trip that gay men, especially gay leather men, can be misogynistic.
Right?
After the struggle that gay men have gone through.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, guys? That you're doing exactly what you always fought against.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I feel the same way whenever I see, like, gay folks that are, like, transphobic.
Oh, yeah.
That just completely, like, blows my mind, because I'm like, you know what it's like to be ostracized and put out there, I mean, there's a difference of, identity in terms of, like, sexuality and gender. Those are two big differences. Mm-hmm. It still trips me out that they can't identify with that fight.
I think a lot of people, and this goes even to straight people, can, if they stop and think about it, if it's pointed out to them, if they stop and realize what's happening. But it's so easy to take that comforting little group of I'm a part of normality. Mm-hmm. And so if there's somebody that's more strange than me, then that I can push away from them and be like, I'm normal, you're different, and kind of have some kind of comfort in that weird excuse.
So anyway, I wanted to make that correction, and I do definitely thank the listener for taking the time to, one, hold me accountable, and two, to take the time to educate me, because she very well could have just been like, hey, you're wrong, go look into it. But I mean, she went as far as even sending me an article, and I just...
Oh, that's cool.
I really appreciate that from you, so thank you.
Yeah, and we don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if anything we say is wrong, we want to be called out on it.
Totally.
That is a huge part of who we are, is just a community. It's, we want to learn. We don't want to be right. We don't want to have all the knowledge and be like, well, this is the way we do it. Like, that only works in some context.
There's no one true way.
True.
No one, two ways.
Everyone's constantly learning.
Absolutely.
Or should be.
Should be.
So, I think we're through with our corrections. Want to go to Gotham Press?
From Bakersfield to Mount Olympus, Gotham Press talks naughty business. Sexual topics to explore your whoredom. Good if you're new or a kinky Yoda. Gotham Press Podcast. The dirty kinksters your parents warned you about.
We're here. Anyway, welcome, Gothamites, to another episode of the Gotham Press Podcast. I'm your host, Anemic Princess. I am joined by my co-host, Greedy.
I've been demoted to co-host.
I'm a co-host.
Oh my
Burn.
God.
I thought we were all co-hosts.
I thought we were all co-hosts.
I thought we were all hosts.
Okay, I'm joined by another host, Greedy.
I love messing with you.
I'm joined by the founding member, Greedy.
The parasite.
No, that's too much. That's
Founding
too much.
father of the Gotham.
You can...
I'm joined by the president of Gotham Press,
Oh,
Greedy.
God. President and CEO.
CEO, entrepreneur.
By senior editor, Greedy.
Jeffrey Bezos. Oh my God.
So wait, I have a question real quick while I'm thinking about this. Who
Or you.
am I? Who am I? Who is singing the theme song to the Gotham Press? It sounds like you.
No,
Greedy.
that
It's
is not me.
No.
Who
He
is singing
tries, but...
the theme song?
Yeah, I can do a fair imitation of him, but there is only one Count Boogie.
Yep.
From
You
the
don't know
Perverted
Count
Podcast.
Boogie. Yeah.
What?
Count Boogie is one of the stars of the Perverted Podcast. They're based out of Los Angeles, and the guy is a fucking legend in the kink community down there. So hats off to Count Boogie, including the Get Fucked Karen hat. He's a singer-songwriter, and he wrote that song. Like, came up with it all, did the tune, did all the recording himself. You know, everything about it was Count Boogie. So we are very appreciative of our musically inclined sponsor, Count Boogie. Just a shout out to Quinn Pratt on TikTok. He's a content creator over there, and owner of a company that sells Get Fucked Karen merchandise. And he's doing a charity event for a friend of his that's fighting cancer, helping them pay off their medic bills. He's selling these wristbands that are pink, for cancer, and they say "Get Fucked Karen" in his logo. And every cent of profit for these things goes to this couple, just for their medical bills. So, Gothamites, get on to TikTok, okay? Check me out. I'm Greedy Paul there too. Follow my account because I will be posting this unboxing for him, and I want you all to reach out to him, okay? Support this guy because he's got some really awesome fucking merch.
It's already posted, by the way, on your TikTok.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I suppose by the time you guys hear this,
Yes.
huh? Yeah, duh. Wow. I have it in my head that you're listening live right now.
I mean, some of them are.
Are they?
Our one audience member.
Fucking audience.
Well, thank you so much for that, Greedy.
And also, get fucked, Karen!
Thank you, Thief.
And as you just heard, that is our other host, Thief of Dreams.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Karen. I love you. Miss you. Bye.
That's only a little weird because my mom's name is Karen. And we
Oh my God.
not the same spelling. She makes it very clear.
Okay, good. Because I know a Karen with this same spelling, and she should.
You bought her a
Yeah.
hat?
My mom is mean, but she's not like customer service mean.
I think tomorrow I'm going to go into her store.
Hold on. Wait a minute. How mean is your mom?
See, like, you heard Gigantor laughing in the background. He laughs, right? Because none of her meanness is ever directed at him because he is by far the favorite.
Oh.
By far. Every time she FaceTimes, where's my baby? And talking about him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she is quite mean. She is quite mean.
I like it so far.
Well, I'm uncomfortable. So, hey, we have a guest, everybody.
We do. Hi, guest.
Hello, guest. Today, our guest is a Miss B. Stings.
Hello.
Hello.
It is I, once again. You guys sick of me yet?
No. No, you show us your tattoos.
Yeah.
That is true. I do.
And she
my
pokes
tattoos.
holes in people.
Uh-huh.
I do that.
She
as
got
well.
me twice.
Sure did.
Since she's here, and she is, as you know, you've heard several times, one of our wonderful sponsors of the podcast, let's talk about our sponsors, starting with Piercings by B.
LLC.
LLC.
I am.
Now at a new location.
Oh, I am at a new location.
What?
And this one actually has a phone number that I can't remember. It is that new. But I am at a new location. I am now at Good Fortune Tattoo and Body Piercing. 231 Roberts Lane in Bakersfield, California. And oh god, let me go back into my memory castle and see if I can remember the phone number.
I mean, you still have your website, right?
I
Where
still have
they
my
can book
website.
through
Go
there?
on the fucking website.
Yes.
Go on the website. It's in the show notes.
Piercingsbyb.com.
Yeah.
So we like to thank some of our other sponsors. And, you know, since we're thanking the ones that are here.
Oh, yeah. Well, Brad will be here Friday, but he's not here right now. But you could also, if you're looking for custom passies, you can go to Steel Brat Passies for all your custom adult pacifier needs.
Thank you, Steel Brat Passies.
Thank you, Steel Brat Passies. Nice deflection, by the way. Let's
you.
talk about Thieves Touch.
Oh, the floggers?
Yeah, that guy who makes the floggers.
Yeah. Who really needs to make some floggers?
He really needs to make some
because
floggers.
Etsy's looking a little dry right now. All it's got is like some deer hide floggers and maybe one cowhide. No, actually, well, that's not true. There's one cowhide flogger, but it's got gold distressed kind of black, and then there's one that's oil tan flogger. But that's one of those that I don't think anybody's going to buy on Etsy because unless you've seen an oil tan flogger before, you don't really know what you're getting. So you're like, I kind of want to look at it and feel it and pick it up and touch it.
I can always use another flogger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was maybe showing off your work a little bit last night to some friends. Maybe, giving them a tour.
Nice.
Touching all up on your supple leathers.
Are these friends in the community?
Perhaps.
They are now.
I hope so. I want to meet more of your friends because I've met your boyfriend and he's pretty fucking awesome.
He's pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm fond of him.
Oh my god. Okay, so I was TikToking with Anemic here earlier, and we happened to be perusing your profile, and I found a video of the two of you like in sweats and looking a little bit disheveled. And then you like put your hand in front of the camera, and presto, you guys are both dressed to the nines and fucking spiffed out. I just yum.
He had an audible reaction. He was,
That
a little bit.
outfit that he had on, he bought this shirt and those slacks at H&M, and let me tell you, his ass looks
Phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, because he's got this nice little. Let me brag about my honey real quick. He's got a nice little like bubble butt, and then these pants just like accentuate, and the fit just makes me want to do disgusting things. Just
Well, since we're talking about butts, you know what are good for butts? Paddles.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? Paddles are great for butts.
We know some people who make some pretty damn good paddles.
We do.
Good old JW paddles. So if you're looking to spank some cute butts, I mean, you could probably hit some other words, but I like using paddles on butts. So
I like doing both. Warm up with a hand and then graduate to a belt and then go on to the paddle because, bam.
In the back of the thighs.
A nice etched paddle will leave a fun pattern.
Oh
though.
my god, yeah.
Yeah.
You get the etching like deep enough, like crisscross pattern, so air moves quickly, and it takes a thuddy paddle, which flat on one side makes a very good thud. Etched on the other side makes a very good sting, like heavy impact sting.
You can also use the edge of the paddle. As
Oh
more
yeah,
of a
blading.
cane. Yeah. It's called blading?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a name for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a highly technical name.
I thought blading was when I put my rollerblades on and me and the homies go tear it up.
Don't ever say that again. Oh my god.
So if you're in the market for a paddle, please go ahead and check out JW Paddles. Try some of their wood. Some
Long,
some
dark wood.
some other introductory things. We just want to give a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters.
Hats off to the patrons.
Yeah, absolutely. If you subscribe at a certain tier, you get early access to all of the episodes.
Those are the $5 and up people.
$5 and up? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So for $5 a month, you get early access to the episodes. But for $1 a month, it's still a great help, and we'd appreciate it. So thank you so much for
If we
that.
could get all of you to donate $1, just $1, imagine how little that is. You find more than that anywhere you look in the house, from the couch to the dryer. I wish I could find money in the dryer. I never do, though.
No, I'm sorry. We're all good about cleaning out the dryer after we're done doing laundry.
I know. I wonder if there's anything in the garbage disposal.
Probably not any quarters.
No.
You might find a Cheeto.
But if you go up to the $10 amount, if you're that invested into our podcast here, then you might have your name or a name of your choosing, like your pet name or a code name, something that you know, but it doesn't have to be your actual name, created into a fantasy. And then read aloud on the podcast.
Oh, no way.
You can have some input into that
I'm
fantasy,
have to become a patron now.
or you
So-
can completely leave it up to me.
That's what I have to do to get someone to write an erotica about me.
Yes.
Because I
And
don't
what's
know
one?
what it is about me and erotica here lately. Like
You make some good shit, though.
I wrote a little bit more of that story.
I was
read it.
invested.
I haven't quite got to the real spicy part yet because I'm trying to figure out the dialogue. So, but I'm working on it.
Go on.
Oh, so I'm writing a little bit of erotica right now.
I've caught that much.
Where's it at?
Right now it's just in my notes.
Oh.
Yeah.
on my phone.
I've gotten a peek at it.
Okay.
If you would like, after we're finished here,
I'd like.
you guys can read. It hasn't gotten real spicy yet. I've just described characters a little bit, and
That's all I fucking needed, bro.
But I'm basically writing about a warrior queen, and she's a very dominant she's a very strong, like muscly woman, but she's got like a little bit of jiggle on her belly, and like I'm trying to be very, and she fucks everybody. She just,
Wait, so is this like Xena, Warrior Princess's mom? Warrior Queen?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what you
All right.
want. That's what you want it to be.
know.
However you have to imagine her.
Yum.
I'm trying to
But,
be as descriptive as possible.
Okay.
With I describe like the stretch marks on her hips from an ample harvest and things like that. So
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So maybe more Andromache the Scythian?
that's all Greek to me.
Yes, bless
Okay,
you.
never mind.
It
Which
did-
is funny
it
because
did
her name
sound
is
a
Greek
little
too.
Greek,
So
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. I look forward to reading this erotica when you release it, because yum.
I mean, I could read it to you out loud.
Oh, fuck me. Yes. Yes, please.
That's going to be the $20 tier.
Yeah. Right?
Ooh, that could be a lot of fun. We could, like, do eroticas and, like, every month or two, read an erotica just for patrons.
How hard would it be for us to do that seriously, though?
I'll start writing right now.
But I mean to read them.
I don't give a shit.
Would we all have to do it like separately? Like
We would
not-
totally have to, because I will break down
Yeah.
trying to read anything I've written.
Have guests read it.
Yes.
Imagine if you could get a certain silver fox on here to read in his voice.
Oh, I'm quite certain that a lot of listeners would enjoy that very much.
Yeah.
From what I've heard about Kinky Story Night or Dirty Story Night.
Oh yeah, yeah. He is a legend, and if anybody in our listeners has been to a Dirty Story Night at the Dungeon in Bakersfield, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm going to have to approach this person about it.
Might have to.
I might
I have like
die.
three different stories that I'm like conjuring right now. You know, like,
So, okay, so $10 tier. You're going to
Create a fantasy
create
story.
a fantasy story. Okay.
And they can either have input or not.
Okay.
So they can kind of lead it one way or just completely leave it up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be consensual, the story. So, like, if you're a dom, I'm not going to make you a sub just because
Yeah.
it's a story. You know, like
It's going to be
there's-
fitting, right?
yeah.
Like, okay.
to an extent.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, I don't care, whatever you want to do, then I cannot make no guarantees.
Right.
It could go anywhere.
Very cool. Well, I don't know. I feel like people should be giving us some money so they can do
Right?
that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that said, if you want to know where you can find the Gotham Press, take a look in our show notes. We're just about everywhere. And if you'd like to reach out to us directly, you can also look in the show notes for ways to message us. And you can also contact us by calling Candy's Sweet Box. Would someone go ahead and give me the number, please?
805
303?
1173.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right. That's all of our set
Introductions.
business. All of our set business. And now we can concentrate on our lovely guest.
Hi, lovely guest.
hello.
We haven't seen you for a while, so I'm glad that we got an update about the shop situation. But of course, I wanna ask about some other stuff. Like, we want to talk about our resident Nilla, our baby, your baby.
My baby.
Yeah, how is he?
He's sick right now. Otherwise, he would be with us, also in our audience. Mm-hmm. And I would love to have him actually come on the podcast.
That would be awesome.
I would like that too, because I think that he is a wonderful kink adjacent person who is incredibly lovely and accepting and hilarious.
and we have so many questions for him about you.
Oh,
No.
I mean, I'm an open book. I think. I'm an open dirty book.
You're an open erotica.
I am an open smut novel. But yeah, so he's good. He's just a little sicky pants right now.
Sicky pants.
And I mean, pretty confident that it's not the vid, but during times of the vid, you can never be too careful. So
True.
Very true.
big sad. I personally have not seen him in a couple of days because of said illness. So
Oh,
pretty sad about that.
I'm sorry to hear about that. So, has anything else changed since the last time we've seen you here?
Oh gosh.
Anything that you'd like to share with us? I mean, it could be like, gee, you beat the fuck out of someone new, or you could be like, hey, I got a cool haircut. Like,
I'm sure a lot has happened, but I am just my brain is just not, the brain's not functioning right
brain
now.
is not
I did not have
functioning.
time. I did not have time to prepare for that question. I don't know what to do with it.
that is fair. And you were working today, so
I'm peopled out.
yeah.
I wasn't
Today.
even working, and I remember the last time she was here, but I don't remember when that was. Like, it seems like a part of me wants to say it was so long ago, and the other part's like, wasn't that long ago. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, lots happened since then, I'm sure, but
So close.
but
yet
nothing
so far.
really. Like,
It was definitely after my Ohio trip, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, wait, no, it was after Oklahoma.
It was after Oklahoma.
You were back from Oklahoma, but I think you guys were contemplating going back or somewhere else
Oh gosh.
for a while.
Because I did go to Ohio for a minute.
Yeah, I think it was before that.
Couple weeks. Oh, well, I went to Ohio, did a guest spot at Pierceology in Columbus.
How was that?
That was fun. The owner, Pat McCarthy, spectacular guy, definitely drinks way... He can definitely outdrink me. The first night that I was there, he just kept buying shots of tequila. And let me tell you, don't drink with Pat McCarthy.
He'll outdrink you every time?
Every time. Unless you can take the day off the next day, he will definitely outdrink you. But he will definitely show you one hell of a time. We went to a kinky store. after the bar.
Yes.
In Ohio?
In Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. I don't remember the name of the place. But we did go to a kinky store. And I don't remember much of this. He did not realize that I was as drunk as I was. Because apparently I seemed very sober. But we went to this kinky store and I spent like $150 on a flogger. Just completely random. It's not even in my color palette. Like, it doesn't even match my set. Like, because you guys know, like, all of my stuff is black and gold. This is black and green.
Oh, that
wow.
like green's an off color
Like,
for you, yeah.
neon green.
Whoa.
Like, I think I just liked it
Monster.
because it had like a ball handle, and it was like, it's comfortable, but it is not in my color palette. But, you know, it was a good time. It was fun. You know.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You're the only person I've ever heard use the phrase happy when referring to anything in Ohio, though.
You know what? The places that I've been have surprised me. Because, like, I think of these places and I'm like, you know, it's back east. It's, you know, like, I mean, I love old houses, but it's like old houses, you know, whatever. But it's like, there's shit to do in these places. I mean, maybe it's because, like, as a tourist, you find things to do. And, like, the people who live there are just kind of...
You're also in major metropolitan areas, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of historical context. It's not like you're in, like, backwater bayou, Louisiana, where it's like, you know, there's one little store and no gas stations. You got to go out of town to get gas. Like, that's...
I would kind of love that, though. Like,
I was just thinking, I was like, there's a certain level of aesthetic there that I would really be cool with.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I don't know, I'm a small town person. So I came from a small town, so I'm like, that sounds cool. That sounds like where I first grew up.
See, it sounds like a nightmare to some people. They're like, yeah, that'd be cool for like a day.
I mean, like, the racism's a little alarming for me. But like, that's where I'm like, oh, that's where the aesthetic ends.
That's a little... That could be a bit off-putting.
Yeah,
you know,
a little bit, you know.
racism.
But
That is the thing about back east, too, is, like, you don't realize, like... Did you know that there are still sundown towns?
they have them here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what the fuck? Like, I didn't know that until I went back east. Like, that just shows, like, I'm Caucasian, okay? Like, I you know what I mean? Like, it's a privilege to not know these things that I gotta break that down.
Right.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, there is still a variation of the what is it? The Green Book? Yeah. There are still variations of the Green Book that are current day ones online. Do you guys know what I'm saying when I say the Green Book?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. So, the Green Book was a travel guide. It was an annual guidebook that came out for a lot of years. That was written by Black people for other Black people. That was basically places that they could and could not go when traveling across the country.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like, and these people, they were very brave people who wrote these books, you know, because they would take the travel as they went through, and they would figure out where the sundown towns were, and they would mark it down. Don't go here. They would have some tips like don't ever pay with more than don't ever pay with a $20 bill. Every bill has to be smaller than a $20 bill, because if you hand someone $20, they're not going to give you your change back because they know you won't do shit about it. So it'd be like typical rules like that. They said you can eat at this diner, or this diner you can go in, but only if it's to go, and you can go here at this diner if it's during the time when everyone's in church, so it's not full of people, so you won't get kicked out or attacked. So it was things like that. So that was a very popular publication for a long time. My family members, because half of my family is from back east, still have copies of their Green Books.
I was gonna say, so this isn't necessarily from like 100 years ago either.
Oh God, no.
This
Super
is,
recent.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was an older guy, but my dad remembers having them. So
Wow.
it was enough that they still have copies of it. So there are online variations of the Green Book. It's not like a set thing as much anymore, but it's kind of just like, it's almost, it could be like a forum, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, don't go here. Hey, by the way,
And
this is the situation I had.
We should have been taught this in school. Like,
Yeah.
this should have been. You know where I learned this from?
Lovecraft County.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where, honestly, like, that show has a surprising amount of information.
Yes.
And, like, I showed it to my honey, who grew up in a WASP household, and he was like, "Oh my God, like that, like things like that happen," and I was like, "Yeah, like that's, you know."
That's one of those shows where for me, it's damned good,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's damned good. The thing is about it is that it takes a lot of emotional labor for me to watch that show.
Oh, I imagine.
Because some of the fears in it, because, you know, they have the whole, like, eldritch being side of it, right? But some of the things that they put in it are very much based on Black trauma. And it's done in the most appropriate way, but it is a weaponized Black trauma. So I have a trauma response to it occasionally. So it's like, it's really, really good. But the fear is just a little bit too real for me sometimes to watch, you know. But, you know, if you're interested in, I guess, learning some shit and also being scared and watching a damn good TV show, that's one to watch.
It's on my list to watch.
You gotta watch it.
I have so much stuff to watch, though. Like, there's just everything. There's too much stuff to watch.
I know. I get that feeling, too.
Like, I'm still working on Titans, and I think it's going to be after Titans. But then I'll find something random and be like, oh, well, this is good, and just watch it all night.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Like, now I'm off track, and now I've got like 7 things to return to, and Netflix won't stop emailing me like, hey, did you finish this yet? Why don't you come back to this? And I'm like, dude, calm down. He's like a drug dealer. I don't even know who runs Netflix, but they're good.
Leave me alone.
Right.
Suck you back in.
Yeah. What did you think about this title? Hey, we're just releasing this today. Since you like this, you might want to watch this. Did you ever finish this yet? What'd you think about it? No, you want to come back and watch it? You just click right here.
You gotta watch it.
I don't know about y'all, but there is like a good stretch of time where I was like, fuck, there's like nothing on Netflix I want to watch, right? And so like I was going, and like, you know, that's the only reason why I reached out to like, you know, like having, I mean, I didn't get it, but having access to like people's like Hulu and HBO Max and stuff like that, right? And I don't know if it's just I spent a long enough time away from Netflix, or if their Netflix originals have just gotten that damn good. But when I end up coming back to Netflix, I would say maybe 6 months ago, banger after banger on there, man. Because I feel like Gigantor and I, sometimes we just start scrolling through Netflix and we've just, especially a lot of their documentary based stuff.
Yeah.
So good. I've watched sports documentaries
Same.
with Gigantor. And the thing is, I am not into sports at all, but the way that the story is told pulls me in.
The Untold docuseries on there is great.
That's what I was talking about, because we watched I think Malice in the Palace was an Untold one.
Yep.
We watched that one, and we also watched, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a story about Christy Martin. It's probably my favorite one of my favorite documentaries.
I didn't get to see that.
It is.
And it's gone. It's off of there. Like, it's still on there. You can still see it, but you can't click it. You can't play it. Yeah.
That is really unfortunate, because
like
it was
cock tease.
really good. I mean, I've watched it twice, because I watched it once on my own, and then I went and got Gigantor, and I said, okay, you have to watch this with me, because it was so damn good.
I watched Breaking Point the other day. It was an Untold about a fucking tennis player. I don't know shit about I don't give a fuck about tennis. I don't care. Fucking engrossed in this story, and by the end of it, I want to like write the guy and be like, you did so good, I'm so proud of you, like, thank you.
Like, that's how I was feeling about this girl in this Untold story. I was like, gosh, she is so cool. Like, she is cool enough that there were some, like, you know, they had a really cool thing where they showed how inspirational her story was, and then they threw kind of the problematic things about her at you. Right? They're like, well, now that we've pitched you this kind of like awesome dream of this small town girl, you know, being kind of like this feminist icon, now we're going to talk about the homophobic things that she said. Ooh. And the transphobic things that she said, and the hateful, misogynistic things that she said, right? And so you're like, oh my God, so it's just like another, like, you're taken back, and you're like, how could this happen, right? Can you believe that even after all that, well, one, she's definitely, there was a lot of internalized issues there, which is why she was saying things that she was saying, right? But they still were able to bring you back to that same level of hype and hope for her at the end. That's how good this dang series is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Damn. Manipulative.
Very manipulative. Well, all that matters is that she was ignorant then, and she's a much better person now.
Well,
so.
like the Bob Ross documentary.
Yes,
where
I've
I'm
been
like,
hearing
fuck
about
those
that.
people.
Yeah.
I got banned off of their Twitch stream. Yeah, because I was like, fuck you guys, give the rights back to Steven, you no good pieces of band.
What?
And I'm like,
Is this something I need to watch?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I'll watch the Bob Ross one.
Yeah.
Netflix got some bangers on there.
Yup.
We're just promoting
And
Netflix
I
right
know that there's info that came out after that doc was released where they said, well, we didn't get our say. Nobody contacted us. They were contacted numerous times. They didn't want to be a part of it because they were hoping it would just go away. Mm-hmm. And then once it came out is when they started like backpedaling. But you can look up everything that's in the doc. I shouldn't say everything, but most of the big things that were in the doc that like I was like, whoa, that's just wrong. It's true and it exists, and there's evidence out there to support it. So like they can bitch and moan and squirm about how they were vilified and stuff, but they deserve to be. Yeah. And I'm not saying that his son is an angel because I have no idea. I don't know anything about him. Like half of the story is his side, but we don't know what kind of person he is. So I mean, you have to take that with a grain of salt, but the facts are the facts, and that's just kind of shitty. Yeah. They're still doing it too. Like this isn't even just past shit. This is
like they're
ongoing.
still capitalizing on him. Yeah.
Like damn, son can't even make a buck off his dad's. Damn.
Bullshit.
Yep.
Since we're talking about pieces of shit.
Pieces of shit.
I have a feeling this is going to be a touchy episode.
Hoo-hoo.
Why?
Well,
do you like feeling shit in your toes, fingertips?
Can we
running
stop
across
this?
Your chest?
Red.
What?
Red.
Oh, sorry.
I'm calling it. Red DM?
why?
I don't know. It was just there, and I saw the rope, and I was like, swing.
This brings new meaning to I do not take the shits, I only disturb them.
Well, let's talk about some kind of shitty people.
So what would you do if you encountered a predator in the scene?
Well, that's the thing.
You can cover yourself in mud because they have this ability to see heat signatures.
No, wrong predator. Wrong predator. This is not the Schwarzenegger predator.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
You would befriend them to fight the xenomorphs.
You have to act weak and frail so like you're not appropriate prey for them because you're not a challenge. You have to be like, oh, I'm immunocompromised and small and lady folk. I'm not good prey. Wouldn't be honorable to kill me.
Wait, wouldn't that make them more?
No, they're like big game hunters.
Yeah, they have an honor code.
Yeah, they have an honor code. So they usually like pregnant women and children. One time they fought a child because they deemed him to be like intelligent enough to be like, I guess like
Good
a threat.
prey.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What are we talking about right now? Are
Predator.
We're talking about the movies.
Oh, okay.
Predator.
I'm already on the Predator. And
Okay,
I was like,
so
no, this is not. This is opposite of what I was thinking.
So we're not talking about the alien predator. We are talking about the predators that sometimes lurk in our very own communities. Yes. And so, I would like to talk about predatory behavior, right? Because I feel like you can, and even if you can disagree with me, I feel like people can display predatory behaviors and not necessarily be a predator.
I've done it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like I've done it too, and it was something that had to be corrected.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like certain behaviors, if they come out, everybody makes mistakes. They just have to be corrected. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're new.
And they gotta own up to it.
And they have, you gotta own up to it. And
that's hard sometimes, especially if you didn't mean something to be taken a certain way and it was anyway, and you're like, but you're wrong because I didn't do it like that. Like I was just kidding. Like it was a joke. I can't believe you actually were scared, and it doesn't matter.
There's something I was taught when I was working in retail. It doesn't matter what you said.
Right.
It doesn't matter how you said it. The only thing that matters is what they heard.
It's
That's a good point.
Intent versus impact.
Exactly.
It does not matter what your intent was. You can bring it up, but that does not excuse the impact that it had, right? So, yeah, so that's why I feel like, and this is like, sometimes I feel real bad for community leaders. Frequently I do, right? Because they have to always have those things at the forefront of their mind. You know, you bring up to a community leader, hey, this person did this thing, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And maybe you are feeling really offended by this person. But maybe you might feel even more offended if the community leaders immediately kick them out. Because, frankly, unless it's a straight-up kick-outable offense, it could be a correctable behavior that maybe the person didn't know.
Yeah.
Right?
And maybe you're thinking it's a minor thing, and you just kind of say it in passing, like, oh, well, just, you know, that was kind of like so-and-so when they did this. And they're like, what happened?
Exactly.
Hold on, we need to talk. And then you're like, no, it wasn't that. It was just it wasn't that big of a thing. They just, like, smacked me on my ass. And you're like, no, like, this is...
Yeah.
And then you're
Actually,
like,
a
oh
big
shit,
thing.
did I fuck up because now I'm getting somebody in trouble for something you know they didn't do maliciously?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's really hard, right? Because I feel like as someone when I joined this community, I had someone who the initial way that they had interacted with me, I wouldn't define as malicious, right? In fact, a lot of it I had kind of decided was like was out of naivety, or maybe out of excitement. Maybe they weren't reading, people's reactions to them. So I had to excuse their behavior for quite a while for this reason. But in hindsight, I realized that, because I never said anything, it doesn't matter whether or not they were, not realizing what they were doing was wrong, or if they were doing it on purpose. It was never corrected.
Yeah.
Right? So that was not good for that person either. There wasn't ever even a chance to be given. Instead, we all just kind of danced around them when they made us feel uncomfortable because we thought, oh, they don't know better. When realistically, it could have been corrected at any time.
Right.
So,
and that's a good point, too, because, something might happen to me that I think isn't a big deal. Greedy might slap my ass and be like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up? Not a big deal, but somebody new might come along who has issues with being touched, without consent, and he's like slaps their ass, hey, what's up? And they just automatic traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Not saying you've ever done this. I'm just using you as an example. I did it. Okay, I was slapping asses. And if nobody, if it's not brought up to me, like, hey, what you're doing is inappropriate, or knock that shit off, oh, okay, no, not a problem. I completely can stop doing that. It was never meant to be a predatory thing, but I can see how it can be taken that way, and I was in the wrong.
Well, that's why, rules are there for a reason. It's honestly to protect everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because it can help for the person who may be exhibiting the behavior if they honestly aren't going into it with bad intentions, or even if they are, frankly, if they aren't held to that standard, then they can't ever know to correct that behavior and maybe ultimately become a more responsible person.
Yep. And if they do know,
and if they do know,
emboldens them to, well, I can do whatever I want.
Exactly. And that's where, that's the person I would define as a predator. So I just wanted to make a point to talk about predatory behavior and what a full-on predator may be, at least by our definition.
Okay, but a predator isn't necessarily just someone who comes into it with, what can I do? I want to do stuff to this person. I'm going to do whatever I can.
Sometimes they honestly believe that they are.
Well, that, or they can play the victim.
Oh, yeah.
They can be like, well, they told me that I could touch them. And so, they didn't say I couldn't put my whole elbow inside of them until I was already there. So, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I was still playing within the rule. They try to...
They kind of skirt the lines,
and
right?
justify their own bullshit. And instead of just saying, I fucked up. My bad. Or even if you feel like you didn't fuck up, step away from yourself for a minute. and think about if it was two other people involved and what that looks like. You know,
Yeah.
like can you see their side of the story at all, or are you just completely defending yourself, like without any, what is that word? Not empathy, where you can kind of see somebody else inside of it.
I kind of feel like, are you busy being offended?
Yeah.
As opposed to looking how the other person was affected by your actions.
That's fair.
Right? Because, you know, it's natural for with humans, when we receive, you know, any sort of negative information, especially if it pertains to us, and we already have some issues with our self-worth, that we're going to probably be offended first, no matter what it is. Right? Either offended or we're going to feel really freaking bad about ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's one or the other. It's either I'm better than that or, oh, God, I'm so terrible. You know, so in those kind of situations, you have to realize that the person who's coming up to you is coming up to you with the best intentions.
Right.
You know, so I think that's one of the important things you have to recognize about that.
What if it's a friend of yours that's been called out as predatory?
Well, then at that point, I think that you need to start analyzing their behavior. Specifically, maybe their behavior you've seen with other people. You can look at it with you too, definitely, you know, and analyze some of those things. But
it's so easy to be like, I know them. I know they wouldn't do that. I know, you know, like, but do you?
Yeah, like, how
Really?
well do you know that
Yeah.
person? And you know what I mean? Like, of course, with your friend, they're always going to show you their best side. You know what I mean? They're not going to show you their nasty side.
I don't know. I've ugly cried in front of friends before plenty of times.
Well, then that's like, that's you being close with your friends. But, like, somebody who is predatory isn't going to show that to their friends because they're going to put their best face forward.
because they want to keep you.
Right.
They want to keep you as their friend, you know, and so, I had some words there, but they completely...
Can you call somebody a friend if you've never argued to the point of hating each other? Or is...
Toxic. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, but I mean...
No, that is really true, because I think of my best friends, like, we got in a fight that we didn't talk to each other for a year.
Right.
Which was all my bad. I was the one who was in the wrong there.
I've done that.
Yeah, so... You know, we've all had some asshole moves before.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't remember what I was going to say. I remember I posted a couple of weeks ago because I was having feelings about some people. And I posted, like, if your friends are not holding you accountable, then are they really your friends?
I saw that and felt called out.
Really?
No.
I was like, God damn. I was wondering, how many people are going to think I'm subtweeting them? But
I
no.
couldn't, and I don't think we've ever had anything that would fall under that.
I
Like,
can't really think
as a
of anything.
friendship.
Yeah, no. And I tend to do that with a lot of my friends, and you know, if I'm being honest, it's because a lot of my friends are white and I'm POC.
Yeah.
So sometimes they don't know when they're saying or doing something or appropriate. They don't know, and that's okay. But I'm not going to advocate for their behavior, you know, because part of it is a narcissistic thing, because that means if they go off and they continue doing this ignorant thing, it becomes a representation of me, right? So part of it is a straight up narcissistic thing where I'm just like, I do not want people to attach my name to that behavior or as an advocate for that behavior. But also it's because I love and I care about my friends, and I don't want them to get beat the fuck up by someone. So, like, I'll tell you if, hey, this thing you're saying is kind of problematic, maybe consider not doing that. And it's not just my friends, it's my partners too, you know, because sometimes they don't know, because if they didn't grow up in that space or grow up in a space with POC, they don't always know what's okay and what's not okay.
That's true.
And it makes them go forward to become a better person and act in allyship too. So I didn't mean to switch this to like about a race thing, but it's about holding, if you care about someone, you should be holding them accountable for their behavior so that they can grow and be a better person.
And yourself as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I had to make that conscious effort, because it's easy to say, Well, I don't talk about people behind their backs. I would only say something I would say in front of them. It's very easy to say that. When you start living by that yourself, holding yourself accountable to that, it gets weird.
Yeah.
And I've done that to where I'll be like, okay, so I said this, so I need to tell this person this.
Yeah.
And you're like, hi. So, you're a piece of shit.
Listen here, buddy. You done fucked up there, guy. But I mean,
But
if you're
it also brings things out into the open instead of keeping it all like hidden away too, and really is healthier. It goes back to communication.
Yeah. I just bees fighting a bug somewhere.
it buzzed in my ear, and I did not like it.
Buzz at it back.
Buzz, buzz, bitch.
I don't know. I feel like I am more appreciative for the aftermath of having a hard conversation with somebody that makes having the hard conversation worth it.
Are you talking about makeup sex?
No, I am not a proponent of
okay.
makeup sex. So I heard it's great. It's not really like I don't go straight to fucking after I make up with somebody. I want to cry for a little bit first.
Okay.
But
Still in my feelings.
yeah, like I still need to feel for a while, but I don't know. I feel like with me, and it's, it's gotten me in trouble admittedly a few times, that communicating clearly what needs to be said, even if it's uncomfortable or even if it sounds like it could be mean, is important, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like, I'm not one of those people who are like, sorry, I'm blunt and I'm an asshole, so you have to deal with it. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but like I am saying that if a hard thing needs to be said, I'm more likely to say it because the aftermath of saying that is ultimately going to make both of our lives better. Because it's either we're going to be like, cool, it's out there, now we can work through that and get through it, or you have to be hurt for a while and then we're going to talk about it and we're going to get through it. Or we're not going to be in each other's lives anymore, and that's going to be better for us to handle right now as opposed to later,
That's true, too. Yeah.
Well, because if you're really friends with someone, you should want them to be their best selves.
Absolutely.
And if you're really friends with someone, you should be able to take criticism from your friends.
Because a friend's not going to do it just to be mean to you.
Yeah, they're
They
really
love you.
looking out for you.
Yeah.
Unless, like, I mean, obviously, don't be friends with assholes. But, it's
good to have at least one or two asshole friends, because they will call you out on bullshit that other people might let you kind of get away with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I like, I'm a flame up Gigantor a little bit here. One of my favorite things about him, is that he fully admits that he's an asshole, right? But he holds his friends accountable.
Love that.
He doesn't really seem like an asshole to me, though.
I think it's because you've met. It's because you met him after he was with me. He softened up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
He's found, because there's a lot of times where I'm just like, sweetie, you could say it a little nicer. So over time that's worked out. But especially when I first met him, he was a bit intense.
So he was a taco, you made him a gordita.
And if that means I made him gain weight, yes, that's them happiness pounds.
Soft shell.
Damn.
Wait, hold on. The soft shell doesn't. I didn't mean that in like it's a bigger. I meant that it's like less hard. No, not less. God.
Would you like a shovel to dig yourself in a little bit deeper?
No, just cover it up. Just fucking cover me up. I'm done.
Throw some dirt on it.
Yeah.
But that is one of the things that I have always adored about him, is that he's not scared to call out his friends for their behavior. And as, I don't know. I don't want to say like he's learned so much since being with me. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like
It is what she's saying, though.
Well, frankly, now that he knows more people and has more experience with people, he's incredibly empathetic, and he listens to a lot of what other people have to say, especially when it comes like surrounding their traumas or maybe the groups that they're a part of. He really internalizes all of that. So like first of all, he's not scared to say that to a first date. I know that. He's held a first date accountable and kicked her ass to the curb over some shit that she said.
Love that.
I love that too. It was really hot. But like he does it with his friends, who sometimes you could say are scarier to have to approach. But he tells them, hey, you're being a real piece of shit right now. you're being a racist right now, you're being a homophobe right now, you're doing this, you're doing that, and that's not appropriate, and I feel like you know better. And I'm really proud about it.
So basically what you're saying is he is Neville Longbottom.
He is the ultimate ally.
Dude.
The character development.
The character development in
Hell
this
yeah.
one is so... I love it. I love it so much.
We love to see it.
Yes. He's just sitting over there in the audience playing his game. He don't even care that I'm flaming him up right now. Whatever.
I have a question now. Because you just said he was the ultimate ally. Wouldn't that just make him an ally? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because that's kind of like the baseline of being an
those traits
ally.
shouldn't go away when you're
Yeah.
not in the company of somebody that you're defending. Like,
Well, see, that's I know how good of an ally he is because someone else who I would say a lot of her personality is I'm such an ally. As soon as she was in the presence of another person, of someone who was not in the group of which she's supposedly in allyship with, she said a slur. And you want to know the first thing that he did? Hey, did you just say that? Did you really just say that? That's not okay.
Right on.
You know? So, like, here's the thing. I'll be real with you. Y'all are white, so y'all would probably know this better than me. I have heard that it's common sometimes when white people are around other white people. Sometimes other white people feel more comfortable letting loose a little bit of their prejudice.
Shit, you're talking about the good old boys club.
no, I would say it's normal to maybe hear it and not act on it, like, and just like, I don't want to have that huge conversation right now that's going to blow up into some bullshit. I'm just walking away, but not use it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't use it yourself.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, like, I've heard stories of people who are talking to others and another person says something like prejudice to them, just kind of out of the blue, and very much treats it like it's okay, even though to your knowledge the person would never say that in front of the group that they're offending.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And I'm like, listen, I am a white people, but I am not that kind of white people.
You're like, please don't.
Please maybe don't do that. I am small and I cannot fight you on behalf of my friends. But I will say very mean things to you.
Well, luckily, Gigantor is big and a man, and you'll try to be racist. And he's like, no,
I had a
bad.
conversation with my father one time where I said, can you just not say the N-word? Just please? And he goes, well, I don't understand why it's a big deal. They haven't been slaves in like forever. And I was like, you went to school in segregation. Like, this isn't ancient history. Like, and even he, this is getting way off topic, but
It's fine. Go ahead.
even he would be like, man, I'm glad I'm not black when like the police shootings would happen and stuff. Like, he
So you recognize
like,
that
yeah,
there's
he
an issue.
recognizes it and then like blows it away. Like, well, there's no difference between color. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? But yeah, so that was a hard conversation, and he didn't, and he still does. And that's one of those times when he would say something, and I would just be like, I'm just leaving. I left the other weekend because my uncle was like going on about some bullshit, and it wasn't. I don't think it was racial. But it was political, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't.
Well, and here's the thing, right? I would say in those kind of situations, like, weigh the risks, right? Like, I, being, one of your black friends, would personally, I don't feel like it's important for you to stand up to your family members who you know are not going to change their fucking mind, right?
Hey, Anemic, can you ask if I can sleep on your guys' couch because I just got kicked out?
Yeah, exactly. And in that same vein, I would say, like, weigh your safety. B, knowing that, she's a small female person, I would not want her to go up to some, giant racist asshole and be like, fuck you can't do this, because that may put her in an unsafe situation. Like, those are not times where I'm saying, you need to act in allyship when I'm not there.
I feel like she would do that, and we'd all have to rush to, like...
Don't get me wrong, I am all about punching Nazis, but maybe, like, you punch the Nazi, and I will hold your earrings.
She's like, I outsourced my work.
I'll
outsource my violence.
That's such a Capricorn thing. Let me just outsource this. I will support. I will bandage you afterward. You maybe do that. And I will, because I am small.
Well, I mean, even like bringing that back to the predator thing, I feel like, that's why we have people who we go to,
Yeah.
whenever there's an issue. Because I know personally, one of the times I had to bring up someone who was being not okay and being predatory, this motherfucker was huge. He was goddamn enormous. You've never met him.
Yeah. This was
Yeah.
before my
Yeah,
time.
this was pre you, and one of the times Thief wasn't here, because apparently he's been here a few times. So, but Greedy knows about it.
Pre-Cambrian.
But he's a big dude, right? So even I felt kind of weird, like bringing up some of the, hey, I feel kind of weird about this. So my logic was to go to the biggest member of leadership and bring it up, and he did handle it quite well, actually. So, but I mean, that's why I feel like if there is predatory behavior that you're seeing, and I also feel like, if you want to call them out, that's something you do, but please do consider your own risks and your own safety, and also know that there are people who are here to do that for you, right? Like people like B and I, we don't have the authority to kick someone out of an event that we're not running. We don't have the authority to say, you're not allowed to be a part of this group, right? I would never probably assume that authority. I do know that there are other people who have tried to say that they have that authority, and that is not true.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, there is a designated list of people.
I was going to say, that's a very short list,
And
too.
if you are not on that list, do not try to say
that you
have
do.
that authority.
There'd be like maybe 4 names on that list that I can think of.
6.
Yeah,
6?
6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so inside our town's community,
Yeah.
there are 6 people with the authority to say this person is banned, and all the sister groups in the community and around our community will recognize that authority.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't want, because if it's bad enough that we're banning them from here, they don't want them there.
Yeah.
So
And those 6 people are also the only people who can say who has the right to be in this community or give privileges.
I mean, event runners, maybe that could be a little bit different. If you run a particular event and a certain person is not allowed at your event, sure. But more than likely, if you're not allowed at that event, they probably already told one of those 6 people about why you're not allowed, and you may end up being booted from the community as a whole too.
Right.
But
or not. It might just be a personal thing between those 2 people, and then if that's the case, then you 2 work it out. Like
that's exactly why we have the designated people in the community that have that authority. Okay. All of us, I am one of those people.
I counted that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of us understand that, hey, we need to come at this from an impartial stance. Okay. This is not going to be something I'm involved in. If I have a beef with person A over here and I feel that they are a threat, I'm not going to be the one to make that call.
because you have too much stake, you have bias in it.
Exactly. I have potential bias. That said, I will still make my statement.
Yeah.
I'll make my statement to the other people involved, or I'm sorry, not involved, so that they can make the decision themselves. Okay? Because, yeah, I'm human. I can fuck up. Okay, I recognize that. I will remove myself from that situation. But I trust the others. I trust the others at the top that they will make the right call.
Because they can be impartial in that situation.
And
Exactly.
it wasn't that big of a deal. I ate his ice cream. And he's like, you're going to
Motherfucker, you do not touch
I'm
my
like,
goddamn ice cream.
See what I mean? See? It's not that big of a deal. I could have went and replaced it.
Okay, we've got it recorded. We know it was him now. You're fucking gone.
I admitted to eating
You're
the ice
done,
cream.
buddy.
You don't touch my moose tracks.
It wasn't moose
Ooh,
tracks.
I love moose tracks.
Moose tracks is damn good.
Now he's denying it.
No, I'm not denying it. I'm stating a fact. It was not moose tracks.
You're saying you didn't eat my ice cream.
I
now.
didn't eat your
You
ice
just
cream.
admitted to it.
I ate somebody's ice cream. I thought I ate Captain's ice cream while he was gone.
Oh, it might have
So
been.
I went and bought a new one and replaced it and then let him
Oh,
know.
was it the oval tub, the caramel
Yeah.
stuff?
Wait, this
Because-
actually happened?
Yes.
Yes, this actually happened.
But nobody was mad. But still. So what
Okay,
happened was...
so I'm still looking for the motherfucker that ate my moose tracks.
Yeah, that wasn't me. So Captain was gone. There was a thing of like half gone ice cream in there. And one day I was like, you know what? I want to try some of that. So I tried some and I was like, ooh, that's good. So I finished off the tub and then went and bought a new one that was unopened and replaced it before Captain came home. So when Captain came home, I told him, hey, I ate your ice cream and replaced it. So that when you open it up, you thinking there's a half-eaten thing of ice cream and it's a full one, you're like, what the fuck?
I remember eating that.
Yeah, and so he's like, I didn't have ice cream.
I know exactly who
And
it
I was
is.
like, what? He's like, might have been one of the littles. And I was like, oh, that's right. And it was. It turned out to be, it was... And he'd brought it and left it, and so it wasn't a big deal. And then, in fact, when he came back, he brought more ice cream, and I had already replaced
sounds about right.
Plus, I'd bought myself one, so now there's 3 fucking things of ice cream in there.
So if you
Dibs
need
on
some
one of them.
help, yeah, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know about currently, because
If you need some help eating some ice cream, I'm just saying, I'm here for you.
but it was
might have
really
to be.
good.
Also, I'm quite fond of ice cream. So
It was a peanut butter party ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
So, what would be some red flags to look out for that you might be dealing with a predator?
So I was just jotting this down when I was at work earlier, right? I did kind of like 3 lists. So
Jesus Christ.
They're just
but
names.
listen,
Just 3 names.
Just 3 names. If their name is blank,
Yes, there is a list that is entirely me.
so but the reason why I did 3 is because I did kind of like across the board predatory behavior, and then I did some that are specific to tops that I've seen and heard of, and some that are specific to bottoms, right? Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how predatory bottoms can be.
That's true.
You know, they're just always assumed to be kind of the innocent one there. So I wanted, that's why I made kind of 3 lists, because I was like, okay, there's definitely some overlap here.
And switches can't be predatory, so we didn't
Absolutely
get a
not.
list. So.
Sorry, there you go. So some of the general things that I wrote down is one of the things that we tend to, Shock Doc specifically, I remember told me when I first joined was, anyone who is refusing to meet you in a public place or at a kink event. That was one of the first pieces of advice that he gave me. Especially because I think when I had first messaged him before I had ever come to an event, and I let him know how new I was even new to FetLife, he made a point to be like, if you're interested in someone, this is probably a good idea to meet them here at Wicked. But that was a piece of advice he gave me, and I've seen it hold true for a lot of people. Where when they find out later that the person that refused to meet them at like an event like Wicked turned out to be like someone who was kicked out before, someone who is a serial predator, so that's a big one. I would also say if you see someone who consistently tries to go after new people, admittedly I mostly see this in male tops going after female bottoms.
Yeah.
That's just because I think that's just the easier dynamic to try to go through when it comes to predators. But really, this kind of stands across all roles and genders. So anyone who tries to go after the newbie, because, even I've seen some bottoms go after a certain top. So
All the fucking time.
Yep. You just attracted all the little red flags.
Oh, God. I just, man... more red flags than a Soviet parade. There was even an instance when I joined a community in another state where I'm not new to the lifestyle, but I was new to that community. Somebody hopped into my inbox immediately wanting to scene with me. And they were also new. I was like, well, have you ever seen before? And they're like, no, but I want you to torture my cock and balls. And I'm like, bro, where in my... No, my guy, listen. But I've had people hop immediately in my inbox joining other communities because they're like, oh, I haven't scared this one away yet.
Yeah.
Nobody's gotten to them to tell,
To tell them that I'm a giant red flag walking.
Yeah.
And I will say, as someone who has been around for those red flags that are attaching to you, some of them are real damn sneaky. Really damn sneaky about it.
Talking or manipulative.
Because, I certainly am just like, damn, I didn't catch that till after.
Real, they'll convince you that, I'm just I'm just really misunderstood, or, you know, I'm so shy, but I feel so comfortable with you. You know, like I haven't approached anybody else because I'm just so comfortable with you.
Does that shit actually work?
You would be surprised.
Especially if they call to your nurturing thing.
I have had my heartstrings pulled, believe it or not. There is a heart in here, no matter how dark it may be. Yes, right between.
She's squeezing her
Oh, the visual. The visual right now.
There is a heart in there, perhaps 2 sizes too small. But, you know, I've had my heartstrings pulled to where it was like, you know, oh, feel bad for me. You know, I'm just so, you know, I'm so, you know, depressed and anxious, and I need somebody to, you know, you need therapy is what you need. And that is not me. I'm not licensed for that. But
well, that being said, I am very happy to see, since I've known you since you've joined, to kind of see your growth in enforcing your boundaries has been wonderful. Because, I mean, I think, now I recall it, I think I've even seen you, like, in the middle of a scene when someone was pushing at your boundaries, kind of go, nope, okay, we're done.
really?
It wasn't here. It was at Wicked Wonderland.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And I was supremely proud of you because you negotiated with this person very effectively, and you told him very specifically what you were willing to do and what you weren't willing to do and why you were going to be doing it. And it immediately just started pushing, and I finally started going, okay, we're done.
Yeah, well, that's about it. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, and you're like, well, we're done. Go away. Yep. And I was just like, hell yeah, be proud of you, man. So she has grown. I quite love it. So, I mean, but that was going to be one of the things that was just not respecting boundaries, right? Because bottoms are going to do that. Tops are going to do that. They're going to try to push at your boundaries. I know I've been on either side of that, where I've had a bottom who, you know, has been around for a while try to push on my boundaries, and I had to, like, push back.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Myself. Like, that's... And there's a difference, is what I want to say. And really, no, there's not. That's very toxic for me to think that. But I was thinking, like, there's certain boundaries that I like to play with and tease with, and there's boundaries that you're just like, don't go near it.
Yeah.
Like there's so like hard and soft boundaries maybe.
And I feel like a lot of the behavior we're going to mention is, I feel like this is going to be more helpful to newer people coming in, because kind of like under no circumstances should this be happening with you.
Right.
Yet,
Well,
right? Like if you have rapport with a person,
that shouldn't happen either. Like you shouldn't don't play with boundaries. Like that's not okay unless you have
that
a
rapport.
Relationship. Yeah. Like a.
Well, I mean, I would even say, like, thief, you know that I hate feet. If you made a joke about touching my feet, I would not be terribly offended at you pushing that boundary. But that's because you and I have rapport, and I know you mean it as a joke.
True.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of the stuff that's on here, like, they kind of go out the window if you have rapport with the person. That's what I was even saying. The person who most recently had pushed at my boundary was someone who I had rapport with, who I've known for a few years. And I don't think he realized that he was doing it. So I had to, you know, I remember I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I'm talking to my friend, I don't know what to do. Just tell him. And I was, okay, I'll just tell him. And so, you know, I told him, hey, you're doing this thing, and I told you that was a boundary, and I appreciate it. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's been fine. He's like, I'm so sorry. I did not realize I was even doing that. I thought I was being playful. And then he just stopped. That's what I mean. Like, people can have predatory behaviors and not realize it. Yeah. You know, and because this person is a good person and, you know, wants to be held accountable and didn't want to ever hurt me, then it was fine. So I'd say that'd be like another predatory behavior is just when you call them out, they lock down harder and they don't ever give up that maybe they did something wrong or something that was even just wrong to you.
Or go a step further and they're like, I know you like it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
try to gaslight you about it.
Yeah, like, hold on. Stop.
So, I would also say, people who won't accept just a no. They won't accept that no is a full sentence.
But why not?
Well, that's always what it is, right?
Why not?
And you have to explain it, and they have to find a reason why your explanation is not good enough, or they have to find a way to invalidate it. So I feel like this is just a kind of a good thing. Just one of my favorite things I had first learned was just, no is a full sentence. You don't owe them an explanation as to why.
Yeah.
But you
You can
told
just say
me
no.
I could do whatever I wanted. But you said this before. You promised this. You made these. Doesn't matter.
Right now, I am saying no, and that's
Yep.
all you need to know.
But you did that with that other person. Like,
Yeah.
why? But you. Like,
Maybe you should just
I
go back
watched
to
you
them.
do that. Like, what? But what about me? Yeah. No.
Just no. Someone who violates consent, no matter how small. Because sometimes the fact that they're willing to violate consent on something that you consider to be small shows that they may be able to violate consent on something big. I think I put that on there because I had someone do that to me around the time I first joined. The consent violation was small, right? I told them I wasn't comfortable with them hugging me in a certain matter, right? And they had done it again. And then when I said, hey, oh, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot. I was just doing it with this person, so I forgot. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. And they did it again. And they did it again. And each time I forgave it because it's such a small violation, you know. And then, you know, when it turned into them pressuring me for sex,
I was going to say that.
then
that kind
like
of,
that's what it grew into. I'm like, oh, that was indicative of like that
Yeah.
small violation was indicative of a much bigger one they were going to try to do.
I just went through a whole gambit of emotions when you said that. Because at first I was like, so you're overreacting to a hug. Okay. And then you're like, they did it again. They did it again. And I'm like, no, that's once or twice more I can understand as being like, I'm sorry. I got to get off of this.
Depends on
But
the
when you start going like into like the predatory kind of, I'm trying to make you comfortable with it.
I'm
So,
trying to like expose you or do some
or,
exposure
like,
therapy.
Change your.
You're having some
thoughts?
feelings.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. I'm going to use myself as an example here. Okay. I am a hugger. Okay, so your example of hugging that kind of
Good quality hugs.
it rings a bell for me.
Yeah.
There's a person in one of our sister groups that I absolutely adore and I respect. And every time I would see this person, I would give them a big hug, you know, because I care about them. And this went on for several years. And then one evening, they stopped me just before I hugged them and informed me that my hugs are too strong. I put too much pressure in, and it hurt them last time. So, you know, that kind of stung.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that they told me. Ever since, you know, I've made a concerted effort to not hug aggressively with this person. You know, be very gentle and show, hey, I care about you. I respect your boundary, and I thank you for telling me that it is your boundary. And I've only seen them a handful of times since then. I'd really like to give them a hug now, but you know, the reaction that you should get from somebody setting a boundary is, oh wow, okay, I acknowledge that. I am paying attention to it, and I'm going to implement that from this point on. And yes, if it happens once or twice on the offshoot, okay, but be firm in reminding them about it. And if they fight about it, that is a major red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, what if they go the opposite direction and say, well, then I just won't hug you anymore?
That also is a red flag.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I would say I'd give them space to be offended, but also recognize that, you know, you cannot control how the other person is going to feel.
What if they're
You can
not,
only control yourself.
What if they're not offended? They're just scared. They're like, okay, then I just won't hug you anymore.
That requires communication.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, okay, so
I'm not out here demanding hugs of nobody. You know, well, I'm just
This
not
is
going
true.
to hug you anymore. Okay, if that's what you feel like you have to do to make it so that you don't cross my boundary, if you feel like that's the level you have to go to, then that's okay. And I may even say like, well, I would still like to hug you. I just would like it if you can make a concentrated effort to be gentler. I'm just not going to hug you anymore. Okay.
So many mixed feelings, mixed signals from you.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
don't even know. There's so many ways to answer, like that an answer could come back at you that you can't just go by what they're saying. You have to go by how it's said and how it's done and how it's
What they mean.
yes.
You have to go by their
absolutely.
nonverbals as
Yeah.
well as their vocal communication.
Yep.
Yeah, if they're just doing it, if they're saying, "Well, I'm just not going to hug you," then just to be a dick,
Yeah, because
that is a solid red flag.
Yeah, that's just being a dick.
If they're timid about it, well, I don't I'm hesitant to hug you because of it. Okay, well that's understandable at the very least.
Honestly, personally, even if someone had reacted to me, oh, I'm just not going to hug you anymore, I'll give them space to be offended.
Okay.
That's just me, because I'm like, oh, that's fine. And I won't treat them any different, right? Because I want them to recognize that me setting that boundary was not me trying to end our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And they
it was
might
me
realize
trying
that later too,
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, I definitely overreacted." Like,
Yeah, and sometimes people need to have space to have that gut reaction, right? Because it's like that, the thing we were talking about earlier is when we receive something negative, we either go into extreme guilty mode or extreme self-defense mode.
yeah,
So I'm okay with it in a situation like this when we're talking about hugs. Well, I'm just not going to hug you anymore. Okay, I cannot control your reaction. So that's fine, but I'm going to make it clear through the rest of my actions that this isn't going to affect our friendship. And if they want to keep on doing that, then it's their loss.
yeah.
I'm not going to feel any guilt about asserting my boundaries, and I'm not going to get offended back at a reaction that I couldn't control.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's the way that I perceive it, and I know I have the capability to do that. And I don't blame anyone who would see that reaction and go, if you're going to have that immediate reaction, I don't want to bother. And that's okay, too.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, sorry, did anyone else have any? I
No,
couldn't tell
go
if you were
ahead.
having thoughts or not. So I was going to say, maybe another one would be someone who tries to get you away from other kinksters. Someone who tries to separate you from other kinksters. Someone who tries to kind of like separate you away from the group.
Pull you away,
Okay.
whether it be like physically or like making you think negatively about your community, like just like talk bad about the community as a whole, or
Well, and here's the thing, like, no group is perfect.
yeah,
So if you have honest gripes with a group of people or your community, that's completely fine. But if it's like no, you gotta come over here, or, oh, you want to go to that event, you should just come here instead. Or, oh, I know that you like to go every week, but I think that you should come and hang out with me instead. Because that's just, to me, that's kind of like trying to separate one from the herd, and trying to
Picking 'em
pull
off.
you away, and if you're being invited to, like, I don't know, like a different group, but they're like, hey, I know you want to go hang out in Bakersfield, but like we could go to LA this weekend and go to like a play space out there, like that every once in a while is like totally cool. But if
Yeah.
you are expressing genuine interest in, I want to go to Wicked, and they're saying, well, you shouldn't do that for X, Y, and Z, and you should just come see me. That is where I kind of draw the red flag. I'm thinking that can be an indicator, but I don't think that's maybe a hard and fast rule.
One of the huge ones that I've seen before is, hey, so I started seeing this person and they're into BDSM. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Are they part of the local community? Well, no, they said that they were before, I guess, at one point, but they said that it, like, I don't know, something, they weren't learning what they wanted to, and so they left. And I'm like, oh, what's that person's name? Mm-hmm. And then you come to the community and you're like, so, hey, has anybody heard of this person? And they're like, oh, shit, yeah, they got fucking bounced out, like, 2 weeks in, like 3 consent violations, and I fucking showed up drunk one time, like slinging dick around. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, hold on. My friend needs to.
I mean, I think that it's like, the responsibility on that person. Do your vetting.
Yeah.
Definitely do your vetting. It's worth it.
Yep.
If they say I was involved in this space, okay, if you happen to know someone from that space, ask them about it. Make sure that they're safe. Like, you are your own best advocate.
And you may come into it with a real strong desire for a specific dynamic. You may be like, I really want a master or dom, or I really want a sub, I really want this. Don't worry about that. when you first get involved in the community. Like
Yeah.
like that stuff will come later, and you'll find better partners the longer you wait and the more you get to know people than if you just
Yeah.
There's
jump
a
in.
lot of trust that needs to
Yes.
go into that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just
And
hop into
it's
that
those
with anybody.
people that are like, well, I'll be your daddy, or I'll be, like right off that should give you kind of red flags automatically.
Yeah, because if they don't really know you, then like, why are you going to let them control several aspects of your life?
Yeah.
Why are you going to give them a trusted headspace? Why are you going to do this? Why are you going to do that? Like, there's something you can do a scene. If you do your proper vetting and negotiation, yeah, whatever, that's cool. But I mean, entering a full-on dynamic with someone, like, that's a lot rougher. So, I mean, that was actually one of my first things on there, is like someone who pushes too fast for titles, dynamics, a relationship, or for play.
And if you want to call her yourself. You could do that.
That's totally allowed. If that's a desire that you have, that's totally allowed. One of the things that I like, I think Brat F. Steele and I have given advice to certain people before, where they're newbies, and they say, "Oh, I just want to have a daddy or a dom or this or that so bad." And I say, "Well, why do you want that so bad?" "Because I'm depressed and I have a hard time doing these things for myself and da-da-da-da," right? And I'm just kind of like, I could say it the mean way. I'd never say it the mean way. But the mean way is, what person wants a broken toy?
Oh, wow.
The nice way is that if you expect yourself to perform better with someone else telling you what to do, then you should present that yourself with with a certain level of discipline, right? So it's like, take care of yourself the way that you would want a dominant to take care of you. And you can tell them when you're vulnerable enough with that person that you want to have a dynamic with, "Hey, these are areas that I have trouble in that I'm working really hard to do." So they show that, you're showing that there's some self-work, that they're not going to have to do everything for you. You can say, "These are areas that I would want to improve in." But I don't know. I'm of the opinion that if you are going to sit there and not try to pick up the pieces that are in front of you and expect someone else to do that for you, then that's not really fair to that person. The way I said it was an asshole way. I'm fully aware.
Right, but there's also a lot of people out there that like broken puzzles. And that's
But those broken puzzles are also really easy to manipulate.
And those broken puzzles are people. So.
Yeah.
A really good-looking dude just walked in right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
stroke
my
his
God.
ego a little bit further.
It's just my ego.
Why don't you come to a microphone and say hello?
Whose microphone should I go to?
This is your microphone.
That is your
I
mic.
am on your microphone.
I mean, if you're okay
See,
with me
see how natural it feels to just squeeze in and share a microphone.
Hey there, listeners. Captain Awesome. Have you missed me? I know they have. They can't end the show to save their fucking lives.
That's true. Absolutely true.
You've trained us that it's your job. And
In shambles. Completely in shambles.
all the time we're just like, "Oh, shit, we gotta wrap this shit up."
So what you're telling me is I just need to make the recording for what I say, and you could just play
Just-
that at
No.
the end.
It's not going to work.
It won't, because
That
we'll
will not work.
just keep going forever.
Yep. It has to be an organic
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
per episode.
Fine, then I'll just sit here and watch you all flounder tonight, and then I'll end it when I think it's time.
Okay, fuck
Okay.
off. Goodbye. Moving on.
Bye-bye.
And I am out.
Oh, whatever. Asshole. So, okay, the last one I have that is not specific to either side of the slash is...
Oh, did you want to record another episode?
Oh, shut the fuck up. You too. I swear to God.
How far in are we?
You don't want to know.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
God.
Well,
Hour
all
and
right.
40.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ. I'll wrap it
We
up.
may need to make this a part 2.
Okay.
No, we can't do that.
The hell we can't.
I can go through the rest of
She's
this real
got like 3 more pages.
Do
I
you
literally
really?
have.
Holy
No, I
shit.
don't. I have this much left.
We
I've
asked
just
for an
watched-
episode on red flags, and she writes a novel.
Fuck off, man. How
We
dare
did talk about
I
a lot of
care?
other things, though.
The more
We
you drag
did.
it out, the more it's gonna like.
Yeah.
take.
We
I'm
talked
okay
about a
with
lot
that.
of stuff that wasn't on the show notes. I came prepared, so fuck me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
We are glad that you came prepared because, as you can see, we did not. You're the only one that came prepared this week.
the second part
Well,
of this is
MB, but still.
the second part of this is gonna go real fast. The one of the big ones that I see is someone who does not think there's anything else for them to learn.
Somebody who thinks they know everything.
And when they say that they know it all, I feel like when you meet someone who, like, you know, we have lots of talented people in this community, right? We have a lot of people who are definitely like jacks of all trades. They're just like, oh yeah, no, I do some rope, I do some impact, a button for this, I do that, or whatever, right? But they don't seem to have the want or the capacity to ever learn anything new. That really bothers me. Or if they decide that they are an expert in absolutely everything that they do,
And they're better than everybody else at it.
yeah, that is a big flag for me. Now, I mean, if you know that you are damn good at rope, then yes, please flaunt that. Fuck it, like that's totally fine. But if you are damn good at rope and you are an expert at, I don't know, fucking, if you're an expert at flogging, but not only am I that, but also like I do a lot of erotic photography, and I do all of that, and I did it for bumfuck nowhere somewhere, and I'm an expert. I don't know, like there's a big ass list I can try to go through. I'm having a headache trying to act like a crazy person.
A red flag.
Yeah, I'm having a headache trying to act like a red flag.
I was going to say, I can't think of anybody. I know people in the community who are really good at things, but I don't know of anybody that would call themselves an expert. Yeah. They would be like, I could show you what I know.
I feel
But
like
what I know isn't everything to know. Like, there's plenty more to learn. So
I feel like there are people who I would call experts in certain areas, and if they heard me say that, they're like, no, don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert.
So that right there, that attitude is exactly what the real expert should have. There was a martial artist, Hoist Gracie. Yeah. Okay, so if you were to go up to this man and ask if he's an expert at his particular martial art, which he is hands down
Beyond.
the best in the world at this, he would tell you, I have always got new things to learn. He's humble about it. The dumbass that's forgive me. This is my experience has been almost exclusively dominance being the ones that claim to be the expert of all things lifestyle and
McDomly-dom.
yeah, dumbasses.
then they turn out
Did
to
you
not
say
even
dumbasses?
Yes,
I love
that's
that.
exactly what I said. My own phrase. I coined that. I thank you. I love the love. People that go around flaunting that, oh, I am the biggest, baddest person ever at this. That's a major red flag for me. I mean, if you're not going to have at least an ounce of humility, then why the fuck should I even bother with you? You're not willing to listen to me. You're not willing to learn me. Why the fuck should I ever play with you?
And I mean, flaunt your resume. You know,
Yeah.
especially if we're negotiating something together and you be like, oh, I went to this class here and I read this book and I did this and I've done this many scenes and I was a guest presenter here. Like, yeah, no, flaunt your fucking resume. Hell
Definitely.
yeah. Hell yeah. But, like, the idea that, like, I am the peak, there's nothing else to learn. That is, that's where it's at for me.
That's
So.
like even my profession, the thing that I do for a living. I am not a piercing expert. I'm good at my job. I'd like to think I'm great at my job.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still have shit to learn. There was supposed to be a seminar in Vegas in October that I decided not to go to because a lot of the people that I was wanting to learn from dropped out. So I'm gonna wait until summer.
Till the
But-
row-row's a little down.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, but there's still shit for me to learn, and I'm super geeked out about when I learn new shit. Like even when I feel like I know everything, I love new information, and I think that's how it should be.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're looking for a lifestyle
time.
partner, Yeah, if you're looking for a good time, call Candy Sweetbox. No, if you're looking for a lifestyle partner, look for one that is thirsty for knowledge. Not one that's thirsty for a piece of ass. Somebody that's thirsty for knowledge, thirsty to learn, wants to explore with other people. That is a quality partner. That's somebody that's worth their weight in gold.
I'm just staring at Gigantor right now. It's one of my favorite things about him is when we had education, he was super down to go to all of them.
I thought we agreed to call him Neville Longbottom.
He's making a face, and I don't want to be in trouble later, so no.
Captain, you'll have to listen to the episode to understand what we're talking about.
You get sport.
Oh! Oh, shit.
Revealed. +5.
I'm gonna fly through the ones that have specific tops, the ones that have specific bottoms, just real quick, and we'll do like a comment at the end. So for tops, I have a lot of tops who specifically want to mentor a bottom to be a better bottom. So that's predatory behavior to me. They're mentoring them to become their bottom, okay, but to become a better bottom, nah.
Wait, hold on. Can we spend some time with that?
Can we come back to it?
Okay.
Okay, so hold that thought. Treats you as their sub or their bottom right away. They are constantly changing what is and what is not acceptable. So flip-flopping, that could be a little bit gaslighty. Claims to have more education than they have. That's why it's important to do your vetting. Only offers aftercare as a reward.
Ew.
And again, for this, I do want to say, this is, again, more of like a beginner's guide, because I don't want to count out for people who maybe been in long-term MS relationships and that works for them. I don't see it working for them on a scientific level, but if that is their agreement, then okay. Right? But I'm talking like, a newer person here, especially if you're not in something quite as intense. And if they lack self-control. So, you want to go back to the mentoring a bottom comment?
Yeah, I want to know what that means.
Sure. So I've seen a lot of so-called DOMs say that they have someone who they are mentoring, right? So usually, from what I've seen as a witness to leather culture, sometimes leather tops or leather bottoms will mentor another leather top or another leather bottom to uphold the values of their community and maybe even to kind of help them out in any dynamics that they eventually want to have. This isn't, specific to leather. It's kind of kink across the board. People will occasionally do this. But sometimes you'll find DOMs who are reaching out to subs saying, I can mentor you to be a better submissive. Right? And so, and a lot of those times when that has happened, it's unethical, first of all. Because there's an inherent power imbalance that's going to be there because someone's role is a dom and the other one's is submissive. And this is, again, very specifically like a dominant person who identifies as a dom and says, I'm going to make you a better submissive.
Right.
Right. Now, if they're going to end up being in a relationship with that person, it squicks me out a little bit, but it's not an inherent red flag. If I'm going to teach you to become a better bottom because you're under consideration for being my bottom. That is different. And it's also different if the dominant is a boot black and they're teaching a submissive person to become a boot black. It's not a dom mentoring a sub. It's a boot black mentoring another boot black.
Right.
Right.
Like an apprenticeship almost.
Yeah. Exactly. Like an apprenticeship. Right. So that's the thing, is that it's unethical for a top to want to mentor a bottom to become a better bottom.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times there's some sort of sexual agreement too, which is just not. And I mean, and I would even say that even if it's a top mentoring another top, if there's a sexual relationship in there, that can kind of fuck with the ethics a little bit of it too.
Okay.
Because you're kind of creating a power imbalance there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
What was the last thing you said?
The last one there is if they lack self-control.
So what does that mean?
Well, that could be several things, right? That can be pushing at boundaries. That could be that they are
So just self-control in life?
Self-control in life is something that I'd be concerned about, but some people have those kind of issues, right?
Yeah.
So I just think if you notice an abundance of lack of self-control in several areas, I'd be aware of that as a red flag.
That'd be a huge red flag for me.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily for a top, but
It kind of
bottoms.
in general. Anyway,
Yeah, like it's just all around. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I want to kind of clarify here that, like, I'm not trying to be, like, ableist in that regard, you know. If it seems like it's, like, a genuine problem that they are aware of, that they're trying towards, then, you know, that's gonna add a whole nother layer. But I would say, in general, if a person is lacking of self-control, and that doesn't seem to bother them,
Yeah.
it seems to be something they have very much so allowed in their life and they will allow to affect you, I'd be concerned. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I sound like an asshole for saying that.
No,
but-
not at all.
So the things I wrote down are generally just like things that I thought of. I didn't get it from theonetrueway.com.
One true way.
The one true way. Oh, motherfucker, he's back. What?
Whoa.
The one true way is the one true way.
And he leaves. He's escaped. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fly through his bottoms list and we could talk about it. Some of the things that I wrote down is they continuously ask or keep on pushing after you say no. They try to align all of their interests with yours. So they try to kind of maybe adopt your kinks, adopt your personality. Anything that you say, oh, here's my laundry list of things I'm into. They're, wow, same. You know, that could be a red flag. Good.
Nice. I know somebody who just fit that so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like I watched them like
Quit talking about me.
it wasn't you. It isn't you. It's a different friend.
Mm-hmm.
But they got involved with somebody who was into something and then all of a sudden they are all into it. They've got like tattoos about it and books and games and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like
They just chameleon to you.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's-
wow, it was drastic.
That's a big one I see. Someone who refuses to communicate, and as kind of like what's something of that, will not safe word when they need to. That's a big red flag because if they're, if they're not safe wording, obviously they're not communicating. But if there is a refusal to communicate with you, then that to me can be predatory behavior because they can turn around later and say, you should have known. You should have known, by the way, I was looking at you. Okay, but you didn't say it, but you should have known. So they are not communicating with you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and that could also fit into those people who are like, well, I kind of have a safe word, but I don't. So, like, this will be my safe word, but we can go past it. And, like, there's safe words should be full stop things. Like, they're not,
Like they try to make their safe word a suggestion.
yeah, like
Yeah.
and it's like, no, that's not how this works.
Take care of yourself as a top and make sure that, especially if you don't know this person super well, like you need to make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that you don't get accused of being called a consent violator could be a really big thing. And it can really mess you up and can mess another person up. It can mess up your relationships with people. And my next one I have down here, ignores your wants and your needs as a top. So, like, if they're not willing to give you aftercare when you need it, that's a big deal. Or if you say, like, okay, I'll do this for you, but the way that I receive love is through service, and they're not going to offer you service, even though maybe you previously agreed upon it and expressed that as a need for that relationship. So if they're ignoring your wants and needs as a top, especially if it was previously agreed upon, that's a big thing. If they turn you into their kink dispenser, which means that if they insinuate that they want to have this, very intense relationship with you, this dynamic with you, but they only treat you as a kink dispenser and don't want to bother with you any other time unless you're giving them, their hit of kink, that's a problem. And if they continuously question your role when they don't get what they want.
Ooh.
Well, you're not a real dom, because you won't peg me.
Wow.
I put that in there just for you, baby.
The number of fucking times I have been told that I am not a real top because I don't put things in people's buttholes. I don't want to touch a butthole. I don't want to do it.
You don't have to.
It's not for me.
Then you're just not a real top. Okay.
Or like
I'm gonna get out of the way when she throws shit at you.
I have had people tell me that in order to be a dom, I need to channel my sexuality and I have to be sexual. And it's like, bro,
What?
no, I don't. Yes, I have. Were you there for that story?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, this is.
Channel that sexuality into rage.
Oh my god! This particular person taught me several lessons. One of them being, do not meet up with people who refuse to be part of the community, be held accountable for their shit. And also, maybe don't go to people's houses if you don't know them. But basically, this person lured me with, oh, you can just spank me for a little bit and then, call it good. And then we sat down on the couch for aftercare conversation, and he's like, well, next time I want you to peg me and I want you to shave me, and if you're going to be a dom, you're going to have to get over because I thought that I was like asexual or demisexual at the time. He's like, you're going to have to get over that. You're going to have to learn how to be sexual. And he was like telling me he wanted to suck on my nipples and like all kinds of stuff. I'm like, what? No.
So, did he use the negotiated scene just as a way to get you into like a intimate aftercare kind of scenario? Like,
that's what I think happened. Is like he used that aftercare as like, well, next time this needs to happen.
Like to set everything up to
like
kind of force you. Like you can't walk away. Like you can absolutely walk away. Yeah. But I mean, you also take the chance of him being like, well, she just like abandoned me for aftercare, and like I don't know, like maybe she just doesn't want anything to do with this life, so like paints you out to be the bad person for walking away when they're the toxic one that like tried to manipulate you into like all that's some deviant shit.
And then the next day I texted this person. I'm like, hey, I don't think that we should be seeing each other anymore. And I turned it onto myself, and I was like, I think I struggled to maintain my boundaries with you, and I no longer feel comfortable continuing. And he's like, well, I'm sorry that you let it get so far.
Oh.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry that you da-da-da. It's like, okay.
All right.
Cool.
Exposed?
Like, yeah, I dodged a big one there.
Mm-hmm. So I threw that last one on there just for you because I was just like, I'm for this motherfucker.
Right? Or, being approached for CBT and, like it sounds great in theory, but I don't want to touch peepees. I don't want to do it. I mean, like I gladly pierce them, but like
you don't get anything out of it.
I do
and that's
not
clinical,
get anything
like,
out of
almost.
that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a sadist. I like to provide the ouch, but like,
if it doesn't feed you, it doesn't feed you, and that's allowed.
It does not nourish my soul to touch other people's private parts, except for my partner. I forgot where else I was going with that. I got swept up, but like I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not all sexuality. So if you're like trying to force somebody to be sexual in order to be part of the lifestyle, that's kind of, and I think that's another thing is like
the assumption maybe that it's all sexual,
and it's not.
Yeah, because it's definitely not. I mean, for some people it is. Like I'll be on. Generally, for me, it tends to be right, but it can also be incredibly just intimate in general. Like when I scene with you, B, I do that with you because you're my friend and I still get something out of it, even though it's not sexual, because I know that's not anything that either of us are seeking. Majority of my scenes that I do with other people, pretty sexual, right? But with you, it's an intimacy, it's a friendship, it's a level of trust.
We're bonding.
Exactly. It's a way of bonding, and there's nothing sexual about it whenever we scene.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
What if something you go into it with purely no sexual like desires, or that, you know, a sexual thing isn't part of what you're going for, but then you get a little turned on?
I mean, if I know that's going to be outside of her comfort, I would say something and say, I think we need to stop.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like that's a level of personal responsibility that you should be doing.
But it could also happen, right?
It could happen, and when that happens, I don't want to violate her consent, so I'm gonna safe word. That's for me. You know, if other people can go like, oh no, that's a no, and you know,
that's good to know,
if you could switch yourself off of it, but I'm not gonna. Even if it's unintentional, I don't want to violate her consent, so I would probably be like, hey, you know, I think I gotta stop, or I think we gotta wind down, or, you know, just because that's a really big deal to me.
Yeah.
And her, I don't know, her feelings are really important to me.
And it can, yeah, and you're absolutely right. It can change things. Like, yeah, it might not be a big thing to me, but it could be a huge thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'll just use us as an example. Like if we were scening and I started to get turned on and didn't say anything to you until later, and you'd be like, I'm not okay with, like, I wish you would have said something because that's not what I want.
Well, I mean, for that, then that could just be like, okay, those miscommunications are going to happen. I don't see this being a red flag or anything like that.
No, yeah.
I use the example of with bees because she has explicitly said that is never a goal of hers, and that's not what she's into. And so knowing that, I stray away from it. I mean, but then again, that would also kind of be part of our negotiations, right? Is whether or not it's sexual.
Yeah.
You know, like at what level we're going to go ahead and get to. And I would imagine that if that was like a thing where I was just like, I don't want to interact with you that way, I would state, this isn't really a sexual thing for me, and expect you to agree if you want the scene to happen.
Right, but what if you do, and then somebody does get turned on during the scene that you weren't expecting? Like, you were like, okay, this is, well, and like you were saying, you would stop it and be like, or at least let them know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, something's happening. And
I may not even tell them why I'm stopping.
Oh, okay.
I would probably tell them later if they wanted to know. Because I can understand if they're probably thinking, oh, maybe I did something wrong.
Right, that's what I would be.
But like I would probably, it's nothing you did. I think I just need to stop, or I need to wind down. And once we've both come off of that high, I would probably just so you know, this is why I stopped, and it's important to me. So
yeah, that makes
some
sense.
people, you know, the line is so blurred there that it could be okay.
Yeah.
But as long as you're just following through on what you negotiated, that's what matters.
Yeah.
For myself, it's I don't mind whoever I'm topping getting turned on at all. My thing is, if they're going to tell me that what I'm doing is turning them on, why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Are you
Right.
expecting me to do something about that? Because no.
Yeah.
But for example, if you and I did a scene and it turned you on and you went home with Gigantor and he finished the job, I might get a little smug bit of satisfaction from that, because you understand that I'm not going to do anything about that.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, as long as the reason that you're telling me is not like, well, you got me this far,
Right.
you might as well finish the job. Like, no.
That's
No.
very
Like,
good.
if B was doing something to me that I was certain was like, oh, fuck, this is going to make me come if she keeps on doing that, I'm going to tell her. I will 100% tell her, because I'm like, that will probably make her feel uncomfortable, knowing that she was the one who did that to me when she distinctly does not want to be sexual with me, you know? So I might have to be like, hey, we can keep on seeing it, but you got to not do that. Because you're going to make me accidentally violate your consent. Like,
My thing is, like, I don't touch people's genitals. I don't, you know, like,
Yeah.
if I'm beating you and it makes you cream yourself, like, okay, you know, that I'm doing something right. But like,
For me, that'd be like I would still tell you, and then if you tell me, oh, I don't mind, I'll be like, okay, then we'll do that in a future scene when we can both effectively negotiate that.
Somebody grab a puppy pad, put it under River real quick. That's, like, but you and I also know each other.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people that I have scened with are new, so I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that with that new person.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that, like, okay, why are you telling me that you are erect, sir? Like,
Right.
I don't need to know that. I don't know you like that, you know? So, but it's a case by case kind of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a messy situation. I don't think it's a common situation.
No, it was just something
But it's
that
worth, yeah, if
sprung
you're,
into my head.
and if you're concerned about it, it's worth bringing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad we had that talk. Anyhow, I finished my list.
Good talk, guys.
Yay.
Good talk. Well, let's wrap this up. We want to talk about our kink or fetish of the week.
It's up to you.
I would love to do that. I'm gonna make B read about it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, I read about this, and I actually have a particular situation in mind that I think we all know.
Okay.
The fetish of the week is macrophilia.
Do tell.
A fascination with or a sexual fantasy involving giants, more commonly expressed as giantesses or female giants. It is typically a male fantasy, with the male playing the smaller part. The male may be depicted as entering, being dominated by, or being eaten by the larger woman. Others involve partners who naturally have a significant difference in size. So, anybody else thinking of Lady Dominatrice?
Who?
Or Demetrius,
Yeah.
whatever
Resident
the
Evil.
big
From
booble
Resident
vampire
Evil.
lady.
Oh.
That made a lot of people discover that they have that kink of like giant women.
Yeah.
Right? Or even like a boy who I play with, he found out he just has a thing for like he has a general size kink. Just no matter what, he wants to be dominated by that person, right? But he either wants them to be considerably smaller than him because he's kind of a big guy, or he wants them to be bigger than him. He's like, nah. He's like, don't give me a 5'7". He's like, give me a 5 foot or give me a 7 foot. Like, he's like, I don't wanna go in the middle there. But yeah, no, that's part of the reason why I put it on there too. Because I think a lot of people have that kink and they didn't quite realize that.
That is a newfound. Have you seen where people are like measuring like how tall she would be standing
Yes.
next to them?
Yes.
And, like some people are like her boobs are like half their height. Like, yes, just sit inside of them. It's like a little boob nest.
And I've seen like a lot of I've seen a lot of content around macrophilia as well, because I've seen like on TikTok I see again, it's usually women,
Yeah.
right? And they like, you know, put their camera on the ground so they look like they're really big, and they'll like talk down. Oh, I didn't see you down there. Oh, you're so tiny. I'm going to put you in this cage. And I was just like, dang, my For You page is really just like, you kinky, maybe you'll like this. So
We're also on that side of TikTok though.
oh yeah, 100%. So but
We both on that side of TikTok.
I have seen it the other way around, where it was someone who, it was a man, but he liked the idea of being a giant and going with tiny women, not with like petite women, because I know a lot of men specifically have that fantasy of being with a very petite one. I'm talking like pixie size, little Tinkerbells. And so I was pretty great. He has beautiful art on FetLife, where he will actually like photograph himself, and he'll do it with like portrait mode, so it's like a little blurry, so he looks even further away. And then he will compose art of like women, like he's done one where they're just kind of like hugging his cock, and it was really cute. Or
Aww.
like they have some where like it looks like he's like, I think he was eating popcorn or something like that, and there's like a bunch of like tiny like little pixies like sitting on his legs and like sitting on his feet, and they're all like watching a movie together, and it was really cute. But it's because I was a big kink of his was the idea of just like little pixie women.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Little lover.
Yeah. Anyhow,
That's fun.
that's our show.
I don't have anything for the kink. Like I'm kind of the opposite of that. Like, if she's
You like being the giant?
No, not the giant.
Okay.
I like her hand size so that she can fit in my mouth. Put her in
So
my pocket.
you like being the giant?
I guess so.
You're like, wait.
But not a giant. I don't want to be a giant. I want to be me, and then she just be extra small. Is that the same thing?
Thumbelina.
Or Tinkerbell, yeah.
So to her, you are the giant?
Sure.
That's macrophilia.
Okay.
It's anything that's involving giants, or I think maybe it'd be the opposite. Maybe there's one that's like called like
Pixies.
microphilia. Maybe that's the very specific. Someone else being small. Maybe you being normal
Like
size.
fit in your
small.
pocket and they can't get out because they're bounds.
That scene in Peter Pan where Captain Hook puts her in the lantern, like
Yeah.
locks her in the lantern.
Yes.
I think that's a
I mean,
understandable.
The scene in Step Brothers.
oh no.
What?
Oh God!
Step
Whoa.
Brothers?
Okay.
Where he buries him in the grave?
No, where the douchebag's wife is describing how I wish you were just super tiny and up inside my vagina.
I do not recall this part.
I recall.
I don't remember the exact wording, but it's like my thought then was, what the fuck? But now I can.
You kind of get it,
I
right?
kind of get it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
You're like, oh, that is like a thing. You kind of get what people are into it. I mean, because like I definitely have like a size kink going. I mean, if you haven't noticed, my partner named Gigantor, who's in the audience right now. So I definitely do have, to a certain extent, like a size kink that he meets, but it's not like it's not a fetish. It's not a need for me. But the macrophilia, that doesn't really hit it for me. But I get it. I can
You got the
understand
fish thing too because he's Shark Boy.
Yes. He's making faces.
You're like, he might not have a skeleton, but he's got it hard cartilage.
Damn.
Honestly, the reason about him being Shark Boy that I like is because I can't swim. So it means whenever we go in the pool, I can just hold on to his back and he swims for me.
I have a question for him, actually.
Do you now?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah, I agree.
I was on the podcast like 2 other weeks ago.
I didn't have the question then. Shut up.
Well, I'm here now. Ask me the damn question.
No, too late. We'll do it later.
Shut up,
We'll
audience
do it
member.
live.
This isn't an interactive show.
Why the hell am I here? Lies!
Well, now that you guys have let me talk forever, I think that we should go ahead and talk about some final thoughts. Y'all cool with that? Good on
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Hey, Greedy, final thoughts? No? Okay, just kidding. Thief, final thoughts?
We've been talking about like red flags and toxicity this whole damn episode, and it's just got me wondering, like, thinking about somebody out there. If she's made him moan like me. I know that's toxic and narcissistic, but
You're like,
Does
I
she
know I'm
get
damn
deja
good.
vu
I don't care.
when he's with her?
Yeah. Does she call him my name? Is that part of their agreement now? That would be really weird.
I would have, but I kind of love it.
Does he ever ask her, "Where'd you learn how to do that thing with your tongue?"
She tells him.
So, Greedy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts are consent is the biggest thing you should be looking for in a partner, in somebody you want to be involved with, be it inside the lifestyle or out. If they aren't going to consent to your wishes, then get fucked, Karen.
Get fucked, Karen!
God damn. Okay. I love that. B, any final thoughts?
Your community is there for a reason. Utilize it. If your
Mm-hmm.
seems to be acting a certain way towards certain people,
Maybe a reason.
maybe there's a reason behind that. Don't be afraid to ask higher ups about certain people if you feel weird.
Yep. Do your
Especially
vetting.
if they're named Karen.
All right. fucking
Capitan.
Captain. Any final thoughts?
Why, thank you for asking. Yes, I have many final thoughts. The first one is, we are out.
Bye.
So I'm just not allowed to have a final fucking thought, evidently.
Oh, I thought you did yours already.
What a dick.
Yeah, he didn't even care about me.
I apologize.
Hey, Anemic.
I'm a
Any
horrible
final
person.
thoughts?
We're out. Bye.